Hi and welcome to your final video on how to take a break. And some of what we've talked about already, well, all of it that we've talked about already actually applies to this anyway. So how to take a break from your drinking. This is my personal favourite. Now, some of you, as we've talked about, a very, very small number will need to reduce safely anyway because you might have a physical dependency to alcohol. But most people, it might be easier to just stop if you're happy to do that. Now, I really prefer taking a break because it gives you that clean break. It gives you that chance to reset loads of bad habits, but it also gives you the chance to really feel the benefits. So remember in video 1 we talked about sleep and anxiety and hangovers and depression and energy and stomach problems, self-esteem, things like that. So when you stop drinking, 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, a year, you really get to feel these benefits. Now, everybody's different, and I can't promise you that you're going to feel them in the first week. For some people, it's like a magic pill and they literally feel amazing in their first 7 days. Some people it takes a bit longer, 30 days, maybe even 3 months. It really does depend on so many factors. It's about how you're looking after yourself. So this is where the water, the exercise, eating good quality food regularly, lots of protein, lots of vegetables, lots of nutrients, lots of whole foods, all these things are really going to come in and support you with this, okay? But if stress is a big factor on your life, that is also quite a drain on your energy. So sometimes it can take people a little bit of a time to feel better. A lot of people lose weight, some people don't. It's very, very mixed. But I can guarantee you at some point you are going to feel better, okay? Whether it's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 months or whatever. But what I would say is you start off with something that feels achievable for you. Now, 30 days is a great time frame, but if that feels too much, then start with 7 days, okay? Everybody can do 7 days, right? I love chocolate. I can do 7 days without sugar, easy peasy. 30 days, that's a little bit of a push, I can still do it. So I always say start with something that feels achievable and realistic for you, okay? And just set the time frame. So going back to what we talked about and how to reduce your drinking, you might want to plan for that. Now again, there isn't always a perfect time, and I'm a massive fan of now. And you're grown up, so you can socialise without drinking, you can do weddings without drinking. It can be done, okay? So remember with this as well that it's about progress, not perfection. So I liken it to diets. So you might be following a healthy eating plan. Maybe one day you eat a Mars bar and maybe 2 weeks later you have some chips. It's not the end of the world, okay? So if you set yourself a 7-day goal and you make it brilliant, and then you go for 30 days, but you have a glass of wine, so what? It doesn't matter, okay? This is about the majority of the time being alcohol free. So this isn't about giving yourself a hard time at all. So please at the beginning start as always with tracking your units, calorie and money, because you can use that as motivation, but you also need to know how much you're drinking. And it can be really good to pay attention to your habits and routines around alcohol. So there'll be stuff about certain times of the day, certain people, certain environments, and some of that you can plan for. So for instance, if you're always used to drinking on a Friday night with your partner after work, then what can you do differently? What can you plan in? So again, like diets, it's easier to focus on putting new good habits in than it is to focus on what you can't have. So if you spend your 7 days, your 30 days thinking about I can't have alcohol, that's going to be torture, all right? You're going to focus on what you can't have. Same way as if you're thinking about I can't eat chocolate, okay? Don't do that. What I want you to do is focus on putting new good things in. So focus on drinking water, eating healthy foods, exercise, making sure that you have interests. The other thing that can be really interesting is thinking about why you drink. What does it give you? Is it just to mark the end of the day? Is it a way to relax, to unwind? Are you drinking? Some people tell me they're drinking to help them sleep, to help with their anxiety. Well, as I talked about in the first video, they impact on your sleep and it impacts on your anxiety, so that's just rubbish anyway. But it can be really useful to be aware of what alcohol gives you. You know, why do you drink? When you know that, then you can use it to put something in place. So for instance, if you're someone that likes to mark the end of the day, what can you do differently? You know, can you go and have a tea with a friend? Can you go for a walk? Can you go to the gym? Can you go for a swim? You know, what can you do that marks the end of the day? If you're someone that likes to drink to relax, what other things can you do to help you relax? Now, quite a lot of people tell me that alcohol is a solution to their problem. It's not. Alcohol is a rubbish solution. So I always challenge people to come up with better solutions for their drinking. So if they use it as a solution for stress, for anxiety, for relaxing, stuff like that, there are far better ways that are 100% better for you than drinking, okay? So I challenge you to come up with better solutions. So ultimately, this is about being aware of your habits, but also understanding that you weren't born drinking, you've learned how to do it. So if you've learned how to do it, you can unlearn it. And part of this process is understanding, you know, a lot of it is about habit, like we said, certain people, certain places, certain times of day, and making sure you plan for that and put new good stuff in. Now, if you found any of this interesting and you think you might need some extra support, feel free to email me. There are lots of blogs on my website. I've got an ebook and I've also got a book in paperback as well as many other videos that can help you, and an online coaching program. But there are lots of places to get help, and I'll make sure I put some information with these videos. So there are 12-step groups, there are SMART groups, you may have a local alcohol treatment service, your GP may be helpful, there will be private coaches like myself that can help, and a number of different online coaching programs. So if this is something you want to do and you find that you're struggling, please don't struggle on your own. Reach out and I can point you in the right direction. Thank you for listening.